So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna draft a basic skirt with a back vent. You know them skirt would just have them nice slit in the back, but you call it a vent where the one come and lap over the other, and then you have this nice cross. They just look very, very nice with a nice zipper and them things. So today in this video we're gonna do that. So what you're gonna need to do that, you will need some drafting paper as normal. Now I always have drafting paper I'm using. This is a 24 by I think this bolt is about 200 and something, but the width I think is 24 inches. So I am using this white drafting paper. You can pick this up on Amazon or one of your local craft store. So you're going to need some paper. You're going to need a curve rule, a straight ruler, a pencil, and you're going to need a sharpener as well, because you're going to need it to sharpen the pencil point, because constantly drafting, the pencil point would get kind of thick, so you don't want that. So I have a whole thing of accessories here. I won't be using all this. This is just what I have my accessories in. You're going to also need scissors. Now this is my cloth scissors. I won't be using this today. I will be using my paper scissors. So this is the item that you're going to need for do this. And you're going to need a measuring tape as well, and your waist measurement. We're going to use 3 measurements. We need the waist measurement, we need the hip measurement, and we need the length of the skirt. So that's the 3 measurements you're going to need. So I'm going to put this aside. We just put this aside, and I'm going to roll out my paper. Me just slant this a little, you guys see. So I'm going to roll my paper out a little to the end. So as you guys can see, my paper is not straight. So what I'm going to do, my table have some lines on it. My table have some lines, as you guys can see. All these marking here is like a 1 inch between, so I can get the straightness of the paper from there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my ruler and I'm going to straighten the edge of my paper. So I just rolling up my paper to get the edge of this paper. So I'm going to line up an edge with one of the line on the table, and I'm going to take my straight ruler and I'm going to mark that line that I need. So I'm going to line it up with one of these lines, and I'm going to mark it out with what I need. So what I do, I'm going to bring that like this, because you need to get this line straight. So need to line up that, and I'm going to mark this. I'm using the pencil. The reason why I'm using the pencil is because you can easily erase. So I'm going to mark this line here. So this is the line that I mark. So I have a straight line here now. Alright, now I need to come down. My ruler is 2 inches wide. Alright, the width of this ruler is 2 inches wide and 36 inches long. Now I need to make a 2 inches mark from this line here. So I'm going to place my ruler at this line that I have here, because this is a straight line I just draw. I'm going to place my ruler here, and I'm going to make the 2 inch mark that I need. So this 2 inch matching up with this line on my table. So I'm going to mark that. So I need that 2 inch, right? So I have 2 lines here, which is 2 inches wide. Right, so between I need this line. So I'm going to rest this ruler down here. Now what we're going to do, what we need to do here now, we need to put a waist measurement here. Right, now this line, this second line here is where the waist measurement will be. Now you need to get the measurement between your waist and your hip. Right, the reason why you need the measurement between the waist and the hip, because remember, the waist, for me, my waist is much smaller than my hip. So if I only put my waist measurement to the hip line, the skirt will be very small. Right? So I need the measurement from my waist to how far my hip measurement will be. And for me, that is 9 inches, but I don't make it 9 inches. I make it like 8.5. The reason why is because some people, when they measure you, they look for the thicker part of your hip, yes, but sometimes the thicker part of your hip, they don't so low. It come off your bam bam, right? So it go way below I think. Let me see if I could demonstrate it for you on this mannequin. Let me show you. Let me just swing this. I have a my mannequin here. Okay, so this is where my waist land, right? This is my waist here. Let's say this is my waist. This is the waist of the dress form. So I need the measurement from here to here, right? So I'm gonna get my measuring tape, and I need this measurement. So I will take my measuring tape, and from here, the bottom of this elastic here, I would measure from here to about 8 inches. And my own does be 9 inches, but I don't want that to be so low, because if that being so low, it's quite under the butt, the measurement gonna be. Because let's say I measure down 9 inches, this quite under here. So that's why you see some skirt does look kind of biggy around here, and it have a lot of fabric. So for me now, I would measure that 8 inches down, which bring me to, let me just get my pencil around here, right? So that, you see where I put this mark in here, the 8 inches bring me around here, right on the butt, the butt here. So if I carry the 9 inches, that's quite half of the butt. So I'm gonna take my measuring tape, and I will show you something. Put it wrong in the front. So you see, where this measurement take me, right across by the most thickest part of my butt. Right? So it right here. So if I bring that down 9 inches, it's quite under here. So what will happen to this part here? So the skirt gonna be tight up here, and it's gonna be big kind of down here. So because I did not get this measurement here, so that's why I make my own 8 inches, right? So on my paper, I'm going to measure down 8 inches from the waistline. I need it to do from the waistline. I'm going to measure down 8 inches from the waistline. So I'm going to take my measuring tape, and I'm going to place it to the waistline. And I'm going to measure down 8 inches. I'm going to use a pencil. I hope you guys can see. The reason why I use a pencil is because in case I make a mistake, I can erase it. So I'm going to measure down 8 inches, put a mark, and then I'm going to mark this out here. Right. I'm going to square a line across. So that would become my hip measurement. Now I need the length of the skirt. First, to be honest, I don't like my skirt too long, and I don't like it short. Right? The only reason I wear that long skirt is because it was an African kind of print skirt, so I decided to wear it long. But to be honest, I don't like my skirt more than 27 inches. Is the longest I would wear my skirt. To me, this long skirt and this thing, this guy is skin too hot. So from my waist measurement, which is this second line, now we are not using this line here. Let me get a marker. This was just a guideline, so we are not taking the waist measurement from this line here. This line out, right? We are not taking the waist measurement from, maybe I think I should cut this out so you guys understand. Let me just cut out this line. Right, so we don't need this. Let me explain to you guys something. Not everybody hip measurement will be the same, right? Not everybody hip measurement will be the same, because some people hip measurement, sometimes it could be 7, sometimes it could be 6, sometimes it could be 8, 9. It depends, because for me, I am 5 feet 4 inches. And my hip measurement is 9 inches, all right? Because remember, I thick. So a slim person, hip measurement may be 7, right? It could be 6.5, different thing. Your hip measurement won't be the same. Everybody's shape different, right? So Hold on, let me fix this. Okay, this is 8. Let me see. 8. Right. So next what we're going to need from this line here, which is the waistline. Let me mark this. Wrong pencil. Let me mark this, which is the waist. And this is the hip. Right? So from this line here, we need the length of the skirt. So from this line, now my length of my skirt going to be, the finished length of the skirt going to be 27 inches. That is below my knee. I don't like my skirt above my knee. That would be below my knee. And then I would add 2 inches to the measurement, so that when I hem up the skirt, it would remain at 27 inches. Right? So we need 29 inches in all. So I will take away 2 inches from that, forget the length of the, forget the finished length of the skirt. So on my paper here, let me swing this, let me see if you can see. So I'm going to measure down from this line here, which is this line, to the length of the skirt that I need. So my skirt length is 27 inches, but I need 2 inches for the hem. So I'm going to measure down 29 inches. So I'm going to go down 29 inches. 29 inches. And I'm going to mark that off. I'm going to mark this off. I'm going to mark this off somehow. Find this, that marking match up. Let me just get, let me see if the top of this this line here is so straight, because somehow I find that 29 inches is not matching up with this mark, and you have to get that to match up. So some one of these line here so is not straight. You see in pattern drafting, you have to be, they say measure twice, cut once, right? So let me see what's going on with this paper, because a line here, if you look at it, this line here, this one here, quite up here, why is this one? So if I for swing this, so I gotta go like this, and that won't be thing. So let me see the top. We're going now with the top. Let me see how the top is. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Just trying to fix a line here. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing just now. I just want to make sure I get this measurement right. Let me cut off this, let me just straighten this thing. Let me cut the paper off, because the line is not straight on this one here. So let me straighten this, and then we will, just bear with me. Let me get this line straight here. So you see one line is not matching up here. So I need this line to come here. So let me just mark this line up, and I'll redraw those lines. So you see pattern drafting, when you're drafting, you have to. That's why I use a pencil and not a marker. So this was the problem. So you see where this line here gone straight here, and this one come here. So the line pass through this one here. So it pass like this. Let me just redraw this. So you see where this line pass through. So I gotta get that out. So I will take my ruler and I will take out that line, just to get it to match up properly. Because your skirt will be crooked, and then you will want to know how your skirt fitting like that, but you didn't take your time and draft it. Let me just get this out. Right, so I will remove this piece. Right, so we good to go. So we will throw away this, and we will go back to the thing. So I will keep this here, and I would redraw the line quick. Let me just place this here. And let me just get this line up. I need 2 inches from the top of this paper. So I line up the ruler with the top of the paper, because it's straight now. So I could line it up. So now I have my 2-inch mark. You see the line kind of straight now? It did not straight just now. So that's what caused the problem concerning the hip measurement. So now that we get this line here straight, so this was the waist measurement that we had before. And now the hip measurement was 8 inches. So I have to measure down 8 inches. So I'll measure down my 8 inches back. Right here. My 8 inches. And then I'll redraw the line. So you see it matching up now? Because of the straightness now. Right, so you see the line look kind of nice and straight now. So now from this waist here, this is the waist, this is the hip, right? So we mark this W and we mark this H. So now what we need here now, we need the length of the skirt, and as I said, the length of my skirt with the finished length will be 27, and I need 29 inches because I will be putting 2 inches for the hem. I like my hem a kind of wide. It look more neat, especially when your hand sewing it. It look very, very, very neat. All right. I can't respond. I can't respond to anybody comment right now. I have to respond to that when I finish. So let's go down the 29 inches. So I will measure down 29 inches from my waist measurement, which is this line here where my finger is, to the length of the skirt that I need. So I need 29 inches from the waist, 29 inches. And now let's see if that will match up neat and nice. Let's see. So we have one mark there, right? So you see it come back and match up nice now. So this is what we need. I hope you guys can see this line because I'm using a pencil. And I have to sharpen my pencil often because you don't need no other additional measurement to your pattern. So I need my pencil tip to be same. Good. So we have the hemline. This line here would be the hemline. So we have to take out 2 inches from that line. Now I have my ruler here, which is 2 inches wide, direct 2 inches. So I would take out 2 inches from the bottom here, which I would, from this line here, I would come back in to the paper 2 inches, right? So this is a 2-inch ruler wide. If you don't have this, all you have to do, get your measuring tape and measuring back 2 inches. So you're measuring back 2 inches. You need 2 inches back in the paper. And then you connect your line, right? You connect your line back. And remember, you come back in 2 inches from the paper. Right, so this here is now going to be your hemline. So when this line here fold up, the skirt going to left at 27 inches. This is going to be the length of the skirt, right? So this is going to be the length. This is the hem or the skirt. So this is going to fold to this. So now what we need now is your waist measurement. Now whatever is your waist measurement, you divide that waist measurement by 4, right? Whatever your waist measurement is. Now I am working on a 34 waist measurement, right? I'm working on a 34 waist measurement, so I will divide the 34 by 4, right? And that would give me 8.5. Plus I need one and a half inches more to that. The reason why I put in 1.5 inches more to that, especially curved people, right? If you're slim, you ain't have no kind of shape, you can get away with anything. But once you thick and like for plus size, like if you're curved, you know, you have a lot of hips, you need some dart on that skirt so that the dart could shape the skirt. So I would be putting 1.5 inches to that 8.5, right? So I need that. I need 1.5 inches to that. So that would give me 10 inches. The reason why I put 1.5 inches, the half inch is for the stitching line, right? There's the seam allowance. Or what I should do is show y'all how to add the seam allowance. So I will take out back the 1/2 inch and I will left with 9.5 inches because 8.5 plus I'm gonna add 1 inches for the dart. So it's gonna give me they're gonna give me 9.5 inches, right? So on the waistline here, which is this line here, I need to go out 9.5 inches. So that is my waist measurement. The 1 inch that I add to it, it going down is for the dart. There is a 1/2 inch dart on either side. So with my measuring tape, and I have a ruler here. Let me use the ruler so you guys can see. So as you can see, my one is from 1 inch to 36. These are 36 inches wide ruler. So on this line, I'm gonna measure out 9.5 inches on this ruler. So my 9.5 inches stop right here to this line here. So I need that here. So I'm gonna put this on the waistline. So the 9.5 inches come right here. So as you guys can see, I make a little mark right here, right? Good. There's a 34 inches waist measurement I working with. I divide that by 4. I left with 8.5 inches and I add 1 inches to it. Make it 9.5 inches. Now the seam allowance is not inside because if I add the seam allowance, it's going to be 10 inches. But I take out back the seam allowance. So I will add the seam allowance around the pattern where you guys can see. Normally I make my pattern with the seam allowance inside. It's much easier for me. But for new beginners, I will show you how to add the seam allowance. So this is the waist. Next, what we need the hip measurement. Now, your hip could be anything, right? Your hip could be 26, 46, 52. Any different size, your hip would be different measurement, right? Your waist would be different measurement. Don't use this measurement I use in here because this is my waist measurement I am working with. And if you use this measurement or if you want to use it for trial, no problem. But if you're going to drop this skirt, use your measurement where it could fit you. So we're going to work on the hip measurement now. So I am working on a 44 hip measurement, right? Now, let me say my hip is 44, but I don't make my skirt 44 inches. When I draft it a little bigger so that when I meet on the mannequin or pin it up on me, I could grade it down to suit because I don't like my skirt too tight, right? Because when a skirt tight, you always have to be pulling down, pulling down, pulling down. The skirt always riding up and you have to be constantly walking to pull that down. So I don't like that. I like my skirt to be free. So we're going to work on a 40, I would make the hip measurement 46, right? So we're going to work on a, let's make the hip measurement 46. So we're going to work on a 46 hip measurement and we're going to divide that by 4, right? So we work on the 46 hip measurement. So when you divide that by 4, you're going to get 11.5. So now, that's the hip measurement I working with 46. Normally my hip measurement is 44. But I always add an extra 2 inches so I could grade the fabric in to suit me because I don't like my skirt riding up. So the 46, we're going to put it on this this measurement here, this line here, which is the hip measurement. So we divide that by 4 and we get 11.5. Now I'm going to add the 11.5 right here from the edge of this paper right here. My 11.5 fall here. And we're going to add that here. So that's 11. Now the same measurement going on to the hemline, right? The same measurement we're going to put to the hemline. So this is the hemline here, right? This one here, the last one. So we're going to get the same 11.5 and we're going to rest it here on this hemline right here. So we're going to rest that right here, right? So now what we're going to do, we're going to get our long ruler, which I have here. This is my long ruler that I have here. And from this mark here to this mark here, we're going to square up a straight line. Right? So we're going to square up a straight line. Everybody draft different. I just showing y'all the easy way because I don't like sometimes you go on social media or YouTube or one them looking for draft a pattern and the amount of swing wrong they give you, you don't understand one thing when you're done. So I showing y'all how I learn. I make it simple and easy. So we drop this line here. This is from the hemline to the hip line. We do a straight line. So the next line we're gonna connect is from the hip to the waist. Now this is where this rule comes in, right? Now this rule is what we're gonna use to get this mark, because if you notice this mark way out from this mark here. Now if I for connect that straight, I gone way out, that gonna end up till here, right here. Now that can't connect that because there is more weight I put into my skirt. There is more taken in. So I need this to this. So this is where this ruler come in. So we're gonna place this ruler here. Now I use the more fuller part of the ruler because my hip full. Right? So I'm gonna place this here to here. So you see how need the connect right there? And I'm gonna draw this in. So now I have the front of my skirt now. This is the front of the skirt I'm doing, but I will use this for the back as well. Right? I will show you how to do that. Now on this waistline here, we need to get a dart for put in this this measure for put to the skirt. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my tape measure and I'm gonna measure from this line here to the front of the skirt. So from that line to this line, so I get 9.5. That is the measurement I calculate. So direct 9.5 I here. If it's more bigger, you need to fix that. So 9.5 because I did not add the seam alone. So now I'm gonna swing my measuring tape over to the CM measurement. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fold this measuring tape in half so that I could get the half of the waist. So I'm gonna bring it to the edge of the paper, line up with the measurement is 9.5, and I'm gonna fold this here. So when I fold this here, I get 5. Alright? So we're gonna make this here. So I'm gonna put my mark right here for the, because I folded the measuring tape, and if you can see where it lands, right here. So I'm gonna just make a mark that like that, right? So my this is the beginning of my dart. Will go here. So now what I'm gonna do on my measuring tape now, remember it's a 1 inch dart we do. So we need to divide the 1 inch dart in 2. So on either side of the dart, it's gonna go half inch, right? Now the dart's supposed to measure 3 to 3.5 inches the most. But for me, seeing that I have a lot of hips, let me show you something. I have a skirt here, and I'm going to show you something on this skirt. Now I have a skirt here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I will just show you something. This is a skirt I did. I don't know if you can see it. But if you notice on the front of my skirt, now my dart cannot stop 3.5 inches to 3 inches, because if you notice on some people when they have the skirt on, it have this, a lot of fabric always fold up, like bulk up in front of the skirt like so, right? Always bulk up in front of the skirt. That's because this dart need to come down, pin the dart out till when it finish. Right, so my dart cannot stop at 3.5 inches because of my hip measurement and because of the curve, right? So let me show you something. Let me show you what I mean. Let me put on this skirt on this mannequin, and I will show you what I really mean about that, so you guys can get an understanding of what I'm talking about. Can get an understanding. Let me just zip up this and I will show you what this skirt look like on, and how this skirt fit this mannequin. It would fit me the same way. Okay, let me see if you guys can see this now. Okay, I have this skirt here, right? Now on this skirt, we just pick up this top. Now if I put the fish like 3 I always said 3.5 inches, that would stop. Let me get a mark so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. if I put this dart 3.5 inches, that is here. That's right here. This dart would stop from here, go up. I know if you guys can see this. Right? You see the part I put a little mark in there? This from there to there. Now between here would have a lot of fabric gather up. All the front here. Never see some people when they walk in the front of the skirt always have this amount of fabric right here because the dart need to pin out. So my dart has to be, I won't tell you how long. My dart has to be about 10 inches. That's the pin out. I just pin out my dart. So as you can see, the skirt come and sit down very, very neat. You see, it ain't got no gather, no fabric. The skirt is not pulling, as you guys can see. My skirt is not pulling. If I turn it to the back, you see my back dart cannot stop there. It have to come down and pin out. So the skirt fit very neat on this mannequin. So just how the skirt fit this mannequin, that's how the skirt would fit me. So some people, their dart could stop at 3, and so, but my dart cannot stop there. So what I would do, my dart, I have to come down a couple inches past my hip measurement. Right? Not everybody on is like that. I know my body, and constantly over the years, I try all kind of thing, and finally I get to realize how my dart's supposed to be so that my skirt can fit properly. So my dart cannot stop at 3. It have to come way down over the hip line. So I'm gonna measure down. My dart has to come till about here, till 10 inches. Whereas in pattern making standard, the front dart would be 3 to 3.5 inches. There's a mannequin. There's a people who ain't got hip and who ain't got no butt and who ain't got shape and them thing, right? We are shape, we are big butt, so, and we are leg kind of thick, so our dart would be different. Not everybody on would do. That's how I comfortable doing mines, and that's how I get my skirt to fit me properly. So I measure down my dart 10 inches, right? And on this line here, which is the waistline, I'm going to put the half. So it's a 1.5 inches, so ½ inch on either side. So we put ½ inch, ½ inch. So now I'm going to get my long rule. I'm going to connect this line to the straight line that I make. That I just, the 10 inches, my dart have to be that long. My dart have to come over the hip line. So it could pick up the fabric that pucky, gather up there. So I'm going to draw in this line here now. Everybody shape different. Everybody should know their body. So my skirt dart always have to be longer than the normal skirt dart. And I'm going to draw this in. Right. So you see what this look like? So my dart have to end till here. Till here my dart have to. This is the extra fabric that I would pin out until it reached to nothing to get the smoothness of the skirt. So this is the front of my skirt that finish here. Next thing what we have to do, we have to lift this waistline about 1/4 inches. Because remember, not everybody square, we have curve. I have curve, right? So I'm gonna take my measuring tape and 1/4 inch. I want to lift this from the waist, from the side seam. So I'm gonna take this ruler and I'm gonna bring this to match back here. I'm gonna bring that to match back right here. So I lift this side seam a little. So you see, 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to bring this to measure this up back. So I'll be cutting on this line here. So this is the front of the skirt. Now to add the seam allowance, you need 1/2 inch. I deal with 1/2 inch seam allowance right away around, right? So I'm going to put a 1/2 inch. Now I have a ruler here that have the 1/2 inch measure on it. So I just use this ruler because this ruler have 1/2 inch on it. So There's my measuring tape and my half-inch line right here, which is on this line for this ruler right here. So I'm going to use this. It's going to be a quicker process for me. So I'm going to place this from this line here, half-inch. Now I'm going to line up the half-inch with the line, the side seam of the skirt. And I'm going to put my half-inch in. So let's say you don't have that ruler. You can get your measuring tape and you measure out half-inch. There. You can measure out half-inch. So we're measuring out half-inch, not in. Half-inch. Now I'll take my rule and I will continue that line. Continue. Drafting up the half-inch. Swing my rule to suit. And carry up the half-inch. Right. So you see, that's how you add the half-inch seam allowance around the skirt. Right? That's how you add that. You come and you put it back. So now this is the front of our skirt. Now you can do a lot of things with this pattern, but today is just the straight skirt we'll be doing. So I'm going to cut this out. Now I'm cutting on the hemline. I'm cutting on this line here. Always cut out, not in. And now we're going to cut up this line here. On the seam allowance line, we cut in. Because this is the stitching line. So when they stitch here, it's going to be, the skirt going to be okay. So now we cut that out. And we're going to cut out this front here. Why they had no seam allowance to it up? Because I have enough measurement in there to give me that waist seam allowance. Just a half-inch. So this is the front of the skirt, right? So this one here, we cut it on a fold. Right, so this is the front of the skirt, and this skirt I would label it as size 14. Alright, so this is the front of the skirt. Now we need the back of the skirt. Right, we need the back of the skirt, so we will go. Now we are not redrawing anything. I'm going to show you how to copy this to make it into the back of the skirt. So let me cut off this piece of paper here. Good. So now we need the back of the skirt. So I'm gonna roll out this paper right here, and I will take this, right? I will take this here, and I will draw like a 3 inches line away from the edge of this paper here. The reason why is because we need the back vent for this skirt. Right? Or if you want, you can swing the skirt like this. You can swing it like that. Line up here. So we can get the back vent for the skirt. Right? Because remember, we need to know where part the vent start from where it stopped from. Right? So, or you can swing this like this. You can swing this like this. So that would be the back vent. So let me trace this skirt. I'm going to trace this skirt over. I will get some pattern weight because we need to trace that over. We need to know where the hemline and all these things stop. So I'm going to use, this is just ordinary washer I use in here. This is the 2 inches. So I'm going to place this knit here, right here, and I'm going to trace this skirt using this marker here, right? So we need to trace this skirt over. So I'll go ahead and I will trace this skirt. The reason why I'm using a marker is for you guys to see. And I'm using one of the washers so that it could guide my hands, right? Now, I'm going to come around on the waist. So I will use one of this washer so it could slide my hands while I drafting this. Right. So now we can go to the bottom. Good. So we need to get the waist measurement, the hemline. See where it stops? We need to mark that. Right. So we're gonna need the hip measurement, the hip line. See where it stops. Let me see if I can get this to bleed through. Okay, that bleed through. And my dart have to stop the same way for the back. So I need that here. I will bleed that through there. Well, my the waist dart gonna be much wider than the front dart because the front dart is 1/2 inch, whereas the back dart gonna be I think it's 3/4 inches, right? Because the back dart need to come up more than the front dart. So I would just mark that there. And I would put the middle of the dart right here. So I would adjust that when I meet. So we have this line, we need the hem line. Right, this line. So that's all we need for this pattern. So now I'm gonna remove this pattern with, remove this, and we have the back of our skirt. Now we have to make some adjustment to this back pattern because we need this, we got to add zipper allowance and so on to that back. So I will use the marker for you guys. You guys can see. So I'm just drawing in the hemline, which is the 2 inches line. So this is the hemline, the 2 inches line. My ruler is 2 inches. So I just take up back that. Next we need is the hip line. We need that hip line to draw in that hip line. Right, so we draw that in. Now my dart stop here. As you can see, this pivot point right here. So now what I need to do is make the dart, let me move the front of the skirt. So this dart, this is where my dart have to stop as well, right? You forget the back to sit properly as the front. But when I sew in the skirt, I will show you all what y'all have to do, because even though I mark out the dart on the paper, and on the skirt, when I go to pin it up, then I pin out my dart. When I rest it on the mannequin, then because sometimes when you look, the dart it have to shift. So you have to take into consideration all that. So I need 3/4 inches. So I'm going to measure out 3/4. Because the back dart always wider than the front. And now I'm going to get my ruler. And I'm going to connect that dart here. I'm going to connect that. And we're going to connect this dart here. Right. So you see, this is where my dart has to end, right here. Let me get a marker for you guys. So my dart have to end right there. So now we're gonna work on the back vent. Remember, we not to add no seam allowance wrong here because we already take it from the front of the skirt. So now you have to know where you want you back vent land, right? Now we have to put in a the zipper allowance in the back of the skirt. For me, I always prefer to have more room with the zipper than less, right? So what I do, I just use like a 1 inch. I just put a 1 inch in the back here. When I meet down to the vent, I just measure out about 3 inches. So I'm gonna go for the 1 inch with the the zipper. So I'm gonna measure out 1 inch. This is the zipper allowance. You have to know how far you zipper running. It's all up to you because remember we have to put it depends on how wide your waistband is, right? So we'll just put the seam allowance for the zipper, but depends on how wide your waistband is. You need to know the length of the zipper. So now when I reach here, I need to measure out 3 inches, right? So I'm gonna measure out 3 inches. Let me see if you can see. So I'm gonna go out 3 inches from the hemline. This is the hem of the skirt. I'm gonna go out 3 inches, which is here, right? And I'll do the same. This is the hip line. It depends on how long you want your arm. So let's start from here. So this is 2 inches come out. So remember when this here hem up, you have to consider it the for the hem of the skirt. So from here, let's say we measure it from here, you need 7 inches. You need your vent to be like you're slitting the back of your skirt, 7 inches, right? So we measure the 7 inches because if we go down to the hem, it's gonna be 9. We don't want that. Remember, the hem had to come up for the skirt. So when you hem up the skirt, you're gonna leave with the same 27 inches. So don't measure the hem or the vent right down there. We're gonna measure it out, but when we reach to that, we're gonna think. So 7 inches is my back opening. So I measure it from here to where my skirt would be, 27 inches. Right, that's what the opening, and I need 3 inches out here, like that. So now I'm gonna get my ruler and I'm gonna measure this up. Right, so you see, you can do it less if you want. You can do it 2 inches. You can do it however. This is just a rough measurement I'm doing, right? So you can do it 2 inches if you want. You can, because 2 inches is good enough as well too. So let's say you don't want it so wide, you want it 2 inches. This is a 2-inch ruler. I just measure 7 inches from my line. That's here. And we're gonna do it, let's say 2 inches. Let's say you don't want it so wide, you do it 2 inches, right? But we need to get that up 7 inches, right? So let's say you want to work with this line here. You don't want it so wide. So we crossing off this line. We're going to work it 2 inches. So get your ruler, connect this line here, the hem line to that line. So we're connecting it. And now what we're going to do, we're going to draw in this line here. Remember we do this 1 inch. So we're going to draw in this 1 inch line here. We're going to draw in that 1 inch line. So we're coming down all the way, right? So you get your measuring tape, continue with the 1 inch. Because we have to get this 1 inch to come back into this to make the vent. So we're going to come down the 1 inch, come down till when we reach about here. So now we're going to connect this line here. Connect the 1 inch line. Right, you see? Then when we're done, we're going to go like this. You want to cross this over to that to come back for the skirt. That's how we get the vent, right? So you see I stopped the 1 inch line right here, so this going straight across here. So let me just connect it for you, let you guys see. Right. So you see, this how we get the vent for the skirt. So when this zipper come and fold, this is the zipper allowance. So when this fold in and the zipper go on this, we have this nice extension where you're going to fold in, and then this is the part we stitching over. So when this cut in two, because remember the back have to cut in two. So when this back cut in two, you fold one and then you lap one over the other. Then you see it's got a nice stitch on this skirt across here. This is where there's a stitch. I have the skirt. Let me see if I can show you what it look like. How I get this vent. Let me show you. Let me show you on this skirt here. You see here, let me get the arm thing. I know. You see it have this stitch across right here. Right here, this stitch across here, because if I open this skirt, if you notice, you see it have here and you have one here, because one lapping over the next one. So this lapping, so as you can see as I open the skirt, you have this lie down flat and this one coming and lap over, and then you come in and you're stitching it down here. So this how they get this nice back vent in this skirt. So this is this that's here, right? So this is what the back skirt look like. So now we're gonna connect this waistline to this line. So all we have to do, get our ruler and we connect this line. And now our back skirt finish. So what we need to do now is cut this out. You turn and you cut this. So I didn't have to redraw my back because I use the front. For the back is just some adjustment we have to do, add some the necessary fit. So this is what the skirt back skirt gonna look like. So this is gonna be the vent of the skirt. So when this fold in like this, all this here, so when this here come back like this, the skirt would come back to normal. When this here so folding, stitching, this would be the skirt with this piece here would be lapping over the next piece. So this here would be two pieces of back skirt you have to cut out to get the skirt to lap over the other vent. So this would be the zipper. Alright, so now we're going to cut that out. Cutting this out. This is the waist. So the skirt I cutting out here. My back dart and my front dart always have to be longer because I have a big butt. So this is the back of the skirt. Alright. This is the back. Pencil, my pencil there. Looking for. I always have to get more than one pencil and a sharp. No. So I need to label that skirt. So this is gonna be my center back skirt. And I have to cut 2. And I will label this as size 14. This way my dart have to stop. So this is the center back and I will cut 2. So you have your center back and you have your center front of the skirt. Now if you put these two together, the back will be a little wider because of the vent. But when you match up the seam allowance, and when you're done stitch down this, it would come back into this here. right? So this is what the skirt, this is the back, and this is the front to your skirt. So you have these two here. Let me just cut out this paper. Pattern drafting, you have to get a lot of paper, because paper is what we just do. Where I learned to do most of my drafting is with paper, and I prefer the paper because if I make a mistake, I could rub it out. Whereas on the fabric, you can't rub out nothing once you don't cut it already. You cannot rub it out. Let me just clear here. So you have your back and you have your front. So when you cut in the back, you cut two pieces of this. Right? You cut two pieces of this. So one will come and lap over the next one. So you will get the vent. So this is the front to the skirt. This is the front. This is the back. So you see all two have the same length. Right? The only thing is the back different, because this is the back we have to get the zipper, and this is the back we have to get the front. Next pattern drafting, I'll show you how to put a zipper in the front of the skirt, or button in the front of the skirt. Right? Sorry about that. That's the classes for today, the drafting of the skirt. So next week we're gonna cut out the fabric onto this skirt. We're gonna put the pattern on the fabric. We're gonna cut it out, right? And then we're gonna fit it up and see how it go from there. So I hope you guys enjoy these classes, and as I said, you can do your skirt anyhow. Your dart could be anyhow, could be longer, it could be shorter. Your hip measurement, your hip depth could be longer, it could be shorter, right? But I know my body, and I had to make my clothes to suit my body, so that my clothes can sit down and fit properly. So hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you next week around the same time. I will send a notification for when I will be on, so you guys can join me. So enjoy your day and have a wonderful day. Bye.